right, yeah, thanks everyone for showing up. And yeah, on time for that. And it'll be nice to have like a good BAC photo. As I think we learned at the last two meetings, having good photos is important. So yeah, thank you, Chaz. Thank you, Holly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call things to order here. So yeah, I call this meeting to order. Thank you all for being here. We're going to move right on to the minutes. So the minutes have been distributed and read. Are there any notes for corrections or additions or things to the minutes? Nick, you're batting 1,000. All right, I motion to approve the minutes. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, excellent. The minutes are approved. So then moving on to the financials. Holly, tell us about the money.
All right, money. There you go. So MOUs for operations grants are out now, and we're going to start spending the money to pay out the operations grants. So that's what you see there for total remaining, the $39,360 for the annual allotment, the $849 for that little 2% bump, and the $16,500 will be decreasing in the coming weeks. And I think with all the operations grant, we're going to land at roughly between 25 and 30,000 for emerging artist grants. And I have a couple of other pools that are not represented here of money that I'm hoping that we can use to bump up the total amount of money that we are going to be able to give emerging artist funds, emerging artist fund grant funds to. But that's going to take a couple of weeks to settle, but we should have that information by the time that we go into the review of all 89 emerging artist grant applications that we got. I'm happy to answer any questions about the budget.
All right, thanks, Holly. Sounds like there are no questions. So. Great. All right, moving on to agenda item number 3, the staff update. Holly, back to you.
So you should have all gotten a couple of invitations at this point to the city's boards and commissions appreciation event. That is Tuesday, October 24th. Please come if you can. I may or may not be there. Just depends on how a few things pen up. But hopefully I will be there, and you're all welcome to come. If you haven't received an invitation and you're interested in going, please just let me know and I will make sure that you are on the list. But it should be fun, and that is the reason why we just took that photo. So generally what happens at these events is there is a slideshow and there's an image of all of the folks on each of the commissions, and then there's like a list of accomplishments that is affiliated with each of them.
Do you know who's catering it?
No, do you?
No.
Okay.
That's a great enticement to come.
All I know is it at the Cascades Golf Course again? That's where it was. Is that the? Oh shoot, that's the Waterman. Well, then you should all absolutely go, and you should track down the Constellation folks and say, hey.
Yeah. So if that means anything to anyone.
Yeah. Other things I want to update you on. So tonight they are doing the second reading of the 2024 budget at council. Not sure yet whether or not it will be passed tonight. There is going to be an amendment on the spending of a pretty significant bucket of funds, and so it just kind of depends on how council is feeling about that amendment. But maybe we will get money tonight. Maybe we will have to wait another week or two before they approve that, but things are going forward. The other thing I wanted to share that for those of you not following the Gateway Gateway, that's what we call it, the 40-foot gateway in Miller Showers Park. So, last night, for the third public meeting in a row, the Board of Public Works decided not to vote to shut down the roads. So basically, the sculpture is, but the sign, the gateway,
sign.
is almost completely built and ready to be installed, but in order to install it, we have to shut down roads so the install team can come in and put the thing on the ground. For the past 3 meetings, Board of Public Works has opted not to vote to do that street closure. So I am not sure what that means. I just have not had time to connect with my colleagues who are trying to push that approval through Board of Public Works to learn whether or not they're going to try again or if they're going to try some kind of compromise. But that's where we are. We have had some conversations with Parks, who is the one really, leading this initiative, and we have collectively agreed that it is not public art.
Great.
So, we're out of the equation in that way, but I do know there's a difference between what we at the city are saying and what is out there in the media or misrepresented even in our own press releases. So if you are getting if anyone's contacting you just about it as a representative of the BAC and you need support, just let me know. But I think overall our position hasn't changed. I think we all agreed, and it's documented in our meeting minutes from December. We didn't think it was a work of public art. We gave feedback on the design that was handed to us, and that's really where our involvement ended. I think we all agree that ideally we would have been involved at the ground level, and we would have liked this to be a collaborative process, and if it was going to be called art, we would have commissioned an actual artist. One thing I am trying to be hopeful about is I think this has been in many ways a good learning lesson for us and Parks, and I think going forward they understand that we need to be involved. They are looking to do some similar projects in '24 depending on how this year's budget plays out, and we have an agreement that we will do it together. So, yeah. The last thing I want to share is we are going to be installing a show of work by the Bloomington Spinning and Weavers Guild in the atrium of City Hall tomorrow. Thank you to Chaz for helping oversee that installation while I am hanging out with my parents. And and we're gonna have a reception for it this Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. if you have nothing else to do and you want to drop by. But this is just part of our initiative to kind of activate different parts of City Hall that are open to the public, and also just give artists in town another space where they can show our work and make our residents and other visitors feel like this is a dynamic place when they come in to City Hall. So
Can you
that's
say
what I've
again
got.
who's the organization?
It's the Bloomington Spinning and Weavers Guild.
Great.
Yeah, there are actually a couple of pieces of theirs out there already. We tried to install it last week, and we're told we're not allowed to get on ladders to hang on the purple wall. Big, that goes along the staircase. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get some vague flashbacks to when I worked at Kid City, and I was like, yeah, I think getting on ladders was a thing that, it's don't do that. So yeah, good city rule. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Holly. Okay, if there are no other comments and questions about that, let's move on to item number 4, update from our public art chair, Natalie.
All right, so I've got a few updates. First update being that we had to move our meeting from last week just because things were so crazy with Gallery Walk and a bunch of folks' schedules to this Friday. So we'll be meeting this Friday at noon via Zoom, and therefore we will talk a lot more in depth about some of the updates that we have. But for everyone to know, I think the biggest update was that we were going to have an opening for the National Science Foundation mural on the 20th of this month, but unfortunately we've got to push that back a bit because there is anti-graffiti paint on the wall where we were going to paint the mural. So I don't know why I sang that. I think I wanted to deliver the news a little better. But yeah, it's so that's big sad. Dealing with that, trying to wait to figure out what we do about that. Erin can get in there and paint that beautiful mural of hers. So there'll be some updates around all of the openings and stuff coming soon. And then I've got some other updates, but I lost my notes. Give me 2 seconds. It's because I was too busy singing. Okay. So we've also got 4 amazing local artists selected for the Duke's substation wall murals. And we're gonna try to finalize that on Friday. I know Rob and Christina both provided some feedback on all of that. We're gonna have some time for public comment fused in that timeline too. But yeah, painting will take place in the spring, and we'll have community feedback and all of that. So we're gonna need a lot of volunteers for that. So you will definitely be hearing from us to help recruit some volunteers for that big substation mural. And then we have our public art master plan that I know I keep saying that we have it, and we do. I promise. It's here, and we're gonna announce it at the October 18th presentation to the council. So that'll be great. It's gonna go live the morning of the 19th. It's an early birthday present to me, and we're gonna be hitting the ground hard with some promo for it. So, and along with that, I know we talked last meeting about the micro grants that are going out with that, so that'll be opening too, and we're gonna have some more chats about that. But I think those are the biggest updates that I want to share with the group today. Any questions on that?
Can you remember the date of the Duke substation mural opening?
Oh, I guess there's no opening right now, but planning to paint in the spring.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything about the substation mural, art call or the artists that were
the process
selected?
is going. I mean, we did have a wrench in the schedule, so now we're pushing it back to spring. But I think it'll work better with just timing and everything. And so we had 4 artists, and so right now we're just kind of finalizing designs and getting ready for to kind of release their final design to the public. But we'll definitely I'm collecting emails and for the email blast to go out in the spring, so that makes sure that everybody's staying up to date to be able to participate in the community paint day.
Cool.
Is it gonna be one artist finalized?
Oh, 4 artists.
It's
4 different
4
ones, are there
artists,
4
but
different
it's one
walls?
design.
Am I right? I missed
12
that.
panels?
Yeah, so it's 6 panels, but each panel has 2 sections. And then so the way they kind of divided it amongst themselves, I think it's around 3 sections per artist. And so right now they're just kind of creating a cohesive design, one voice, but that's kind of how it is. 4 artists, 1 design.
Great work on that, Christina.
Yeah. Very organized.
Thank you.
Perfect. I think that's all the public art stuff that we have then.
Yeah, any other questions for Natalie or the Public Art Committee? All right, excellent. Let's move on to grants.
Hi everyone. I exist. I'm alive. I feel like I haven't seen y'all very much lately. So 80 something plus grants. Yeah, so this is gonna be this is the new reality we live in here on the grants committee.
Apologies to everybody.
Success begets this. So, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm looking at the calendar right now. We have tentatively had pinned November 11th as our panel review meeting. That is a Saturday. That was our tentative pin. So we can actually suss out in reality what we're gonna do. I do feel like this is gonna be a take and shift situation. I don't know that I would wish this upon my enemies to have us all review 89 or whatever grants together. So I guess just keep an eye out in your inbox for coordinating emails in the next week and a half or so as we start to process the grants and put them together in that package that you can review. If you have suggestions for external reviewers, readers, please do send them my way. we've got a little bit of a roster, but we could certainly use more in this situation. It's always that balance between inviting new people into the conversation who might be helpful, but also, new dynamics, things like that are always challenging. So just if you have any good recommendations, send them my way, and just look for more information via email in terms of coordinating the review sessions. But we have a pretty good sense of the amount of money we are able to give away. It's not, oh no, maybe we don't have a good sense of that.
We will have a better sense in about 2 weeks.
Okay, great. Yeah.
I have one question. You say, you're thinking that we're gonna have, give or take, 30,000?
I know we will have roughly between 25 and 30,000, and that's just left over from what we haven't spent for the
Right,
grant
and then
funds
you
this
may be able
year.
to come up with some
And there
extra.
might be a couple other of pools that we can pull money from. Those negotiations are in process, and I just don't know the answer to that yet.
Okay.
But we will definitely have that answer before we start the review process.
Since we have so many people that are applying for a relatively small amount of money, can we maybe work out some kind of a system where we say, okay, a $500 grants would be a one, this is not,
Oh, a
yeah,
grading system.
that we're only gonna give X amount and X amount, and if you think it should be a 0, fine, you think it should be a $500 grant, put it a 1, if you think it should be above that, because we're not gonna go above, I don't know, 1,000, and that would be extraordinary, or 750 or something, but set some solid parameters that would be easier to
My suggestion,
do
I,
it.
So the idea being to expedite and streamline the evaluation and recommendation process.
Yeah, and to get it done
Yeah.
equitably. I think, let me just say one thing. When we first discussed doing this, and this is back when,
Back in the day.
yeah, what's his name, came up with it.
LaShawn?
He moved to Atlanta.
Oh, no.
That person.
That person.
Sorry, I'm blanking. Former
Okay,
commissioner.
anyhow, we talked about having these as $500 grants for, because we had a tiny pool of money
Yeah.
there. And somehow or other, I think that's kind of, because it's emerging artists, essentially. So maybe it would work and be more streamlined until we get a lot of money that we could then look at it from that point of view.
can I say it? This is probably not the place to say it. As the person who's helping facilitate the online grant
Yes, you
system,
are on the back end
I
here.
would say that something that I've been thinking of, and I'm only bringing it up because you brought this up, is that I was thinking $500 is a small amount of money. We hopefully will have more money next year. 2,000 is already a small amount of money for these artists. My thing I was actually going to bring up to Holly was wondering if, a lot of grants say like only 10 applicants get it, so they're upfront that like even 89 applied, only 10 get 2,000, because I think it's doing a disservice to give them so little, and because they can only apply for it twice, right?
Yeah.
So if you get it and they really do deserve more money, but they can only get 1,000 or 500, in my mind, it actually upfront you're like there are only 15 of these available for people. It would not feel as bad if they didn't get it, because it's just kind of like it is what it is. This is what we have. That would be my personal thing, just because it's a lot of work to do it versus a little money, and then we'd have less grant recipients, but they would get more money, and hopefully we'll just have more money in total to give like 20 of these out or something. But that's just something.
Yeah,
Food
so
for thought.
that sounds like an interesting model for a future cycle.
Yeah, I'm not
But
saying that
Yeah.
this
with
year,
consideration.
but I wanted to bring it up because I think it's
Next one.
important.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
$500 today is very different than $500 5 years ago.
2019.
I was just gonna ask, are we gonna have a grants meeting next Friday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
that's,
do that.
we
I-
need to.
Because I think
yeah.
there's some, with,
I think it's worth really digging into this.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But maybe that's the place to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some substantive conversations we need to have here about this cycle, planning it,
Mhm.
strategizing what we can do with the parameters we've already given ourselves, and
Correct,
then reflecting on future cycles. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to.
Mhm.
Yeah, my intention is after this cycle ends, now that we've had another full year of approximately these 3 to 4 cycles, is having a new debrief about revising for next year.
Good.
So making these exactly
I
these
buy your
points.
idea,
Yeah.
even though I'm not on that
It will just
committee.
make it
Yeah.
easier for everyone on the background, because if we only know there's 10 or 20, it's just easier for the numbers, and I think it's easier for the maintenance of it, and
Yeah.
to get the grant to the people on time and everything, so I just want to throw that out there, but yeah, next week's probably better, but thanks
Yeah.
Elliot for your work.
People can only apply twice, or they can only.
They can
be
only receive
awarded?
funds twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the
Yeah.
expectation is they level up to arts project.
Yeah, I mean, this is our current parameters.
Yeah, I do want to just say too, one thing we make public for our cycles, like we've done this for the past 2 years, is just say most people are not going to give the full,
Yeah, we
receive the
always
full
say
amount
that.
of money. So we do try to like manage expectations that way, but I do think this is a banner year, and I think
Yeah.
with these, now that, like you said, Elliot, with these 2 years of data, we know what to expect going forward, and we can just adapt to that, especially after maybe tonight or 2 weeks from now, when we'll actually know how much money we're guaranteed for grant funds next year. So.
Yeah, right. There's also that as well.
Yeah, I think these are all great ideas and great suggestions, and that there's certainly more discussion to be had. I think, I mean, we've had similar conversations about this, but I think the sort of like current state is like we've like set the parameters for this year, and we like need to stick to those more or less. And but then like we can certainly sort of like assess for future years.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. That's all I've got for now. So check your inboxes, and let's chat. We'll chat next Friday. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why it's not on this. I don't see it, but
I don't see it either.
anyway, I'll but that's all for me for now. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we might be on. I don't know. Yeah, we might be calling on other committee members to read too. Maybe. Yeah, if you want to volunteer, yourself for that.
It might help to have some all hands on deck on this situation.
Yeah.
It's really extraordinary how many applications we have. And it's possible when we go through them, there'll be some that we eliminate on face because they're not in, like, we've had people apply from, like, Virginia before, right? Like, there's some things that will knock some people.
I have eligibility on there, they have to say they're in Bloomington,
Oh,
so
okay.
hopefully unless they lie.
Yeah,
well,
But also,
we've had
somebody from
people-
California applies to everything we put out there, like with the same project over and over.
they are
again.
shorter, this application is shorter than some of the other ones.
Yeah,
at least.
yeah. So there's also, it is
Yeah,
also
it's
a
not an
short
operations for sure.
application. Yeah.
Sometimes people are unaware of the eligibility or unsure of their ineligibility requirements,
Like,
and whether or not they.
I had you one
fit.
percent.
So yeah, I was just saying, it would be the first time it's happened.
No, for sure. Okay, for sure.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, that concludes that business. So.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions or notes from the group? All right, moving right along to from your chair. So yeah, the two things listed here, and then I have I think I have a thing or two to add after this is, our presentation to City Council was moved from September 20th to now next Wednesday, October 18th. Do you know if we'll be in the
We will be at the front.
At the front.
We will be the
line.
same position.
All
We will
right.
be like within the first 20 minutes of the meeting after everybody does their
Yep.
like little announcements about their constituents meetings. They're not little announcements, they're important announcements, and then we will speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a tight 8-minute, 7-minute, 8-minute presentation.
So what time is that again? Sorry.
It's at 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah. Yep. In the big room.
Yes, where we just had our photo taken.
Yep. Right in the
You
photo
can
room.
also go online.
Yes.
Yeah. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, and
Bring your pom poms. Bring your.
we thank you for all your feedback last month. We did add a lot more pictures. Thanks for Chaz for jazzing it up. And Gerard and I had one, we practiced, I think, the day
Yeah.
before
right.
the original presentation, and we were pretty close to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I was proud of us.
I was
we,
feeling
we
good.
Did good.
I was,
We did
yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
I think so too.
I spent 5 hours putting photos on there, so you
Yeah.
appreciate the
Yeah.
PowerPoint.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
Everything, if a graphic designer looks at it, everything's even.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, comment window for that is closed. Yeah. Thank you, Jess. Okay. Then looking to the end of the year, a couple sort of like vague notes here. It's like this. Some of the key beats that we're going to hit are, kind of wrapping up the grant cycle, or the emerging artist grant cycle. That's going to be a big sort of like push there, and working to get this is mostly on the city end, but working to get the money out the door for everyone who's
it'll be
been
emerging artists
been
and the
awarded.
neighborhood grants that we'll do for the Boulevard Master Plan, and our amazing finance person is primed and ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. And then of course we have two more public sort of like general meetings, and then our committee meetings, and then we are looking to have an end of year party again. There's been some discussion to connect it to the city. I mean, I think Chad specifically is like artist party that they have. And so, but I think that will be roughly around the same time of year that we had it last year. So what was that, early
It's like the first 2
December,
weeks of
early
December, I think.
mid-December?
Yeah.
So we'll have more details on that soon, but that will, I think, feature folks who come out to the artist parties, us, and our families, if they'd like to come, and then I think grant recipients as well.
And we'll update our slideshow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe karaoke. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have some. Yeah, right. Yeah, I heard mixed. I heard mixed. The people who loved it loved it. The people who didn't. So yeah. Cool. And then I think, on that note, end of the year, what that means, especially for our committee chairs, is that we're gonna need to start meeting in person. So folks are gonna need to. Yeah, I know. I know. When when it first came up, it was like, oh yeah, that's just that's. I might not even be alive then. I don't know. That's a problem for a future me. But no, that future is here. That's right on our doorstep, and so we're gonna need to start doing our committee meetings in person as well. So just brace yourself for that.
That's at the beginning of the year?
I think starting with our meetings, our committee meetings in January.
That's the deal I made with legal.
Those will need to be.
So maybe we can spend, since I know we're meeting this Friday,
Yeah.
and Grants is meeting next Friday, maybe we can spend the last 10 to 15 minutes of each meeting talking about what we want that to look like.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then this sort of, I guess, kind of goes into the next agenda item, which is the upcoming events and important dates. And I'd love to, for you all to take a look at the doc and add anything that you may or may not have added. Oh, Nick, did you have something you wanted to say?
Sorry, I was going to jump back to the end of the year thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't know if it's appropriate. If the city website is correct, we have 4 commissioners whose terms technically expire end of January. I think I'm the only one that is at the end of the second term and has to cycle off. But yeah, I don't know. Is there an active discussion with council and mayor's office about when those will need to be filled, or is that kind of a down the road thing?
It's a great question. I think those who are finishing their second term, or their first term, if you're interested in reapplying for a second term, the sooner I know the better, and that's just a matter of sending me an email. What I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows this at this point in time, is who is going to make the appointments for next cycle. So everyone who's on the commission now, if you're cycling off in the coming months, it's actually not until the end of January. So at that point in time, the new mayor will have been in office for a month. So I don't know if the current administration is going to try to be the one who makes these appointments themselves, because historically those appointments don't happen until late January or early February. So I don't know, but so I will happily keep everybody updated as I understand more about that. But what I would say in the meantime, if you are interested in staying on for a second term, or if there are others that you really feel would be a great fit for joining the commission, now is the time to reach out. Now is the time to share that information. Put me in connection with folks, I think, and Gerard too, putting you on the spot. I hope it's okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, historically we've always been happy to take meetings with folks to answer questions and things like that. So I think, thanks for bringing that up, Nick. I think.
So Holly, if our cycle is over in January, because I think it's Nick, myself, and Rachel.
And it says Rob as well.
Says Robin, that doesn't.
But
Yeah,
no,
I
Bob
think
just
I
came-
came in on an interim that was.
Like
gonna
you
roll
inherited.
forward.
Yeah.
Like a partial
So you
term.
have to you have to formally reapply.
Okay.
We got you. You're not going.
So what does that mean? That means that we are no longer, can no longer serve on the council.
So if you have served if you have served 2 terms in a row, you can't serve 3 terms in a row. If this is only the end
A
of
term
your
is
first
1 year, a
cycle,
term is 2
a
years.
term is 3
3
years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've been on
So
for 6
if you
years.
have served 2 3-year terms, you cannot apply for a 3rd term. But if you have only served 1 3-year term, you can reapply. But you do have to go through the whole rigmarole of filling out that application again. I don't believe if you're a council appointment and you're reapplying, I don't think you have to go through the interview process again. But again, that is like going on what the administration is doing now. I don't know what is going to happen in January.
So as a council, I was a council, so therefore, and it's only been 1 3-year term.
Yeah, then you would need to reapply, but it's not going to be as rigorous of a procedure for you. As things stand now, again, who knows what's going to happen in January?
And where would the application be?
It's on Onboard. We can send it out.
Okay.
To, well, why don't we'll send it out to everybody again, so if you do have folks who are interested in applying to fill the terms that are just over, Nick and I are in a fight because you can't leave. I'm gonna be heartbroken. But
Yeah, I think it's kind of horrible.
we should just get the word out there, because I feel like there are a lot of other amazing folks in the community.
But can Nick still be on committees?
No.
Not up to
He can
January.
be a member of the public and make comment, but he cannot be on the commission for a 3rd term. That's part of our bylaws.
I don't know.
It's kind of a loss.
He might be sick of us
Yeah.
too. He might be ready to move on.
Positive churn.
Yeah.
No, the other thing I was just going to mention, just related to that, is obviously we will need a new secretary. And so I would recommend maybe we try to find that person by the December meeting, so we have overlap in January.
Also need a vice chair.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone's given that some thought. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Nick. I have that as like in my mind as like next year.
I know.
But again, the stuff comes closer. It comes close. It comes sooner than you realize. So no, yeah, that's good to bring up. Okay. Any other notes on the timeline through the end of the year and kind of like into next year? Any notes, questions, or comments?
Can I ask a question about the location of the end of year party? So so last year we held the end of year party at the Bloomington Creative Glass Center, and they've reached out to us and asked if we want to do it there again. Do folks have strong opinions one way or the other about that location?
Is it going to be big enough? If we're combining like an artist party
Yeah.
with like grant recipients.
That's a great point.
That would be my only concern. Like,
Yeah.
Otherwise, I thought it was
That's
a
a good
spot.
point, because it was a little squished.
So you were back in the glass blowing area?
We were in the glass blowing
There was a
area,
lot of
and we
glass
had like
dust.
food in other places, and it was really, I think, yeah, the positive of it was like people bought stuff, so I
That
feel
was
like it was
cool.
kind of like a
Yeah,
win-win
they were cute.
situation, because we got the room
Yeah.
for free, but it was small, and I'm always, when I go into a space with glass, I'm like this, so, yeah,
The lights were very bright.
yes. the lights were
Yeah, I
great.
like dimmer lighting, but that's not. But yeah, I want to support them, but also maybe there's a different way we could utilize that space. That's not the end of the year party. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder. Great question.
Right,
Holly,
the reasoning
anybody
is
else's
perfect.
thoughts?
If there's too many people, that's,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We're not saying it wasn't great last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps we will go back to the drawing board. maybe?
I did like that there were different rooms,
Yeah,
you know,
that was
because you
nice.
could, you could like go talk in the back room, or you could, like this.
You gotta be real careful, yeah.
thanks.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, with a mind toward like events, and upcoming events, I have I mean, I feel like I should have a better sense of this, but I'm gonna ask the city and our grants chair, is there a is there an easy system, or is there a system that we have for like specifically our project grant recipients of like learning about like when they're like doing their project or doing their thing? Because I imagine like we're probably getting into like a season now where like the time of year where they've had the funds, and like some of these projects and things are likely going to be, I mean, I can't recall like the exact like, you know, exhibit date or whatever for these things, but I have to imagine that like, you know, those things are going to start trending up, and if there's a way to like,
There's not currently like a way for that, but
Yeah.
we can maybe we can write the group and ask them to keep us posted on like public event dates. I think we should probably do that.
Sure. Yeah, I'll try to go through that list too and see like, I don't know, do some digging.
Would you want to like do like just a quick like Google form that asks like, has your event happened, and if so, like send pics and details about how it went, and then like.
That'll be redundant.
But that's,
Are you
but
sure?
I'm thinking that
Yeah,
might be
then-
more effective for like adding to this event spreadsheet, right?
Mhm.
Sure.
Because if we choose to do that, it might just be like, hey, we want to make sure that, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
we come to your event.
Right.
Here's an easy way to tell
Yeah.
us exactly when it's happening. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
and we'll happily promote it for you, because I
Right.
think we
Yeah.
actually have the
Exactly.
capacity to do that now.
Not everyone promotes as well as Babette does.
I know. It's true. You're implicated.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So are there any checks that actually somebody has used it in the way that they've said?
No.
No, there aren't. I mean, I think there's, we are still working on a reporting process that's mostly for our own, like, purposes of, like, compliance and promotion. But no, I mean, I think that's not really been an issue so far, as I know,
But I think that, I don't think it's a big deal that if I got a letter saying, please tell us what you did with
Yeah.
the grant money, give us, or what you're planning to do with it, we
Yeah.
wanna put it on a calendar and enclose a couple of pictures. I don't think that that's a hardship for anybody.
No,
And
it's
I think
not.
we should make people, I mean, it's just one form and an email to send out. And people should be, not only should they be accountable, but we wanna also participate.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't make it any big fancy thing, you know, one piece of paper or, you know, one email.
Yeah.
Well, I think there are two ways to collect this data. I think the first is maybe going forward, when we send out the packet of information to awardees, we say, hey, if you want us to promote your event, or we would love to be apprised of when your event is happening, here's a form you can fill out to keep us in the loop. And again, I think as Chaz and I and another person we're contracting with to help us have a better communication system have agreed on is we are always happy to use social media and our newsletter to promote the folks we have funded events. So maybe that's just an additional line we include in the award documentation. And then, yes, we do need, report forms, and that's where
Well,
we'll be
that's a
collecting.
separate- yeah, I wasn't
yeah,
trying to
so
bring
I
up
think
that.
this
I
is
just looked
two
through.
different things. And I think the report form,
Yeah.
which we're working on, which really needs to go out,
does say that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
but I,
and
Yeah.
the grant, and the grant thing, it does, I was gonna go
Which
back
is
to reread
kind
it.
of a
It
crazy
says something
complex
about having
That's
to
fine.
report
like
something.
Yeah.
no fewer
Yeah.
than 20
There is
pictures and.
something
Right.
saying-
Yeah, that's.
yeah, I mean, we are kind of getting into,
Yeah, that's too
like,
much, actually.
And it's in all
But
that.
this is all good stuff to talk about.
This is from
I'm less
Yeah.
talking less about reporting it because I mean
Yeah,
we
that's the side,
like
yeah.
we do have a plan in a way for reporting. This is just more for like the events themselves. And I guess I mean my basically just my ask to the group right now is to keep an eye out for these things
Yeah.
and don't assume that the commission just like that we know about them. If you come across a group that you recognize or like have vague suspicions that we funded them, let us know or throw it on the doc, just so that we can be aware of it and try to get someone there or at least or connect with that group.
And if you go, take photos and send them to me.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Oh, I just want photos.
Yeah. Okay. So what we have already talked, like we've gotten the updates about the Wonder Lab stuff, right? Is there anything more to add about like looking at this doc here? Is there anything more to add about those events?
I just, no, the date is just, the date of the ribbon cutting ceremony is just postponed.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, so the artist party is the same day as the.
Yeah, I realize that. Whoops, but you should go afterward. If you go to the Waldron, go to the artist party.
Maybe out of town.
Yeah, go get appreciated and then go.
Appreciate artists.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then, yeah, I'll give a quick note here about the First Thursdays Festival. This next month in November it's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be at the IMU or at and around the IMU, kind of like on the eastern side of Dunn Meadow, and then kind of like around the Solarium, and in Alumni Hall as well. There are some technical reasons for why we had to move this month, but we're excited for this temporary change in location. And while the location is different, it'll still sort of it'll look and feel and act like a First Thursdays festival with our probably somewhere in the realm of 60 to 70 partner booths, performances specifically featuring Taylor Swift cover bands this month.
Oh my God.
And an artist row, so local and community artists will be there, and yeah, it'll be fun, and it's really kind of leaning into the fall, the autumn season, and gearing up for the Taylor Swift conference that's taking place at the Buzzard Chumley Theater, immediately following that. So
Yeah, and it is sold out both days. But if anybody wants any tickets, I might know a gal. So let me know. Yeah,
That's awesome.
we're really excited.
Okay, so since we're doing pretty good on time today, I would like to have like a robust round of commissioner announcements. So everyone, like, yeah, dig deep. Tell us either like something that like happened, so something that happened recently, maybe like a particular event that you threw, or like something that's coming up that you're looking forward to, or just I don't know your thoughts on the state of art in Bloomington.
Gateway.
It's fair game. Right, yeah, right.
Or not.
Yeah, no. Yeah. All right, Babette, why don't you kick things off?
The obvious. Pay Bloomington was sensational, and I really want to thank Gerard, Rob, Karen for coming out. It was great. Rob took over Elliot's mantle as a judge with Sally Gaskell, and they were terrific. We had about, I think somewhere close to 35%, I think it could have been more, increase over the previous year. It was a little different, it felt to me, and I don't know why. It could have been in part because of the weather, but we didn't have the mass of people. First thing, we had people all day long coming in. And the highlights for me were just looking out at the lawn, and there must have been a dozen people, just families, just sitting all over the lawn. The little kids who were painting and very serious about it. I've got some fabulous pictures for you for next year. You know, the little girl in the pink ballerina is holding her painting and being thrilled. And then the teenagers. And then we had a guy who did an incredible painting, hadn't painted in quite a few years, of the Red Lion Inn. Those are all in the window over at Arts Alliance. And most of all, I don't think I've ever seen as much, I can only say diversity. I've never seen all ages of people together, all socioeconomic, whatever, anything. It was just, it was what I would say that this town is made up of. And everybody, I thought, had a great time. We did making paper, which I couldn't believe. It was down there, nature wands. One of the women was showing how she made different inks and paint from beets and acorns and all kinds of things. And it was just really, really great. And the biggest thing that I think is a real shame that we don't have a place anymore that we could offer children and adult classes on a series on a regular basis. I'm going to see if I can't do something maybe at Banneker, and certainly should be able to do something in the Waldron, but I guess not. Downstairs. But it really, there are a lot of people who are very talented teachers, and there are a lot of people who really would like to learn. And I think that's something that, we should really look into.
So I'll enthusiastically be second and enthusiastically say, I never knew this event existed. I guess it was its second year. And it was just wonderful to watch these families and these kids. And some of the 5, 6, 8, 9-year-olds pieces, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, wow, I mean, this is so expressive. And their subject matters and what's in their heads. And so I was really, really excited by it all. And it was, thank you for asking me to come and judge with Sally. And we had a great collaboration. But yes, I thought it was a great event.
Awesome, cool. Congrats.
Thanks, a lot of help.
Yeah.
Can I tout the artist party on the same day as the Bloomington Commission event, but on October 24th from 6 to 10 at the Farr Center for Contemporary Arts. There will be the October Artist Party. I will not be there because I'll be abroad, so don't feel bad for me for not being there. But if you go, please go because you're going to be supporting the music industry creatives at IU. They're a group of students who put on the Burning Couch Festival. They're very professional. They're very, I don't know, Holly and I work with them, and I mean, just they are.
They're doing cool stuff.
They're doing cool stuff.
Yeah, we gave them a grant last year.
Gave them a grant.
Yeah.
Ivanson, one of my favorite people, is co-president, and they're just killing it, and they're just trying to build more awareness about Burning Couch. And what's great about them is they're an IU group who actually wants to be involved in the community. They feel it's important to be involved in the community outside of IU, so I really like that about them too. They're actually doing it. They don't just say it, they're doing it, and I think that's cool. You know, students in Bloomington doing cool stuff. So they're gonna have there's gonna be 3 bands performing. 2 that this group, Mike, they'll be performing at the Burning Couch Festival. And then 1 that Tamara Brown, who's the gallery assistant at FAR, she's like the lead on this. It was really great. I used to work at Victoria FAR, and she's like really good at arts programming, and it was really awesome to be able to give her this opportunity since we'll be gone for her to like take the lead on it. And so she has like a schedule of the event. She's basically taking care of it, all the stuff I would normally do, she's doing it. And what she wanted to do also was get art vendors. So there's going to be like 4 or 5 art vendors, and I think a little visual show up on the wall as well. So performances and art to buy. You can also support. You can also, I think that you can even like donate to Mike for all they're doing. They're paying artists, which is great, and they're working within the community. So I don't know, Tamara's great. You should go meet her and see what she's doing and get to know her and see all the hard work she's doing and celebrate that, because I feel like it's really important to, Holly and I were talking about this, like giving these young artists a platform to do their thing, and so I'm really happy. It's going to be a great event. I really
October
trust them
24th
with
at
it.
what time?
6 to 10.
Okay.
It's extended because there's 3 bands. There's going to be breaks in between, but each plays 30 minutes, and then there'll be art vendors, and it's I will send out more information. It is free and open to the public, but it is by invite only. You'll have to sign up for the Eventbrite. But yeah, we've had 70 to 150 people at these, and I think with all these students and with Tamara involved, I think it'll just be pretty amazing to see how the group they get there, because it's a different audience than I know, right? So might be a little younger, which is great. So I really hope that a lot of people go and meet the young student artists. But Tamara's from Bloomington too, so I think that's really cool, and it's just great to give her this chance. So that's my spiel. Please go. If you go to the Waldron for the Commissioner Celebration, go to the FAR Center from 6 to 10. Free wine, free
Sorry?
good vibes, free wine, and beer, and free good vibes. So anyway, I'm very excited. So I wish Tamara were here to. I know, she's great. Everyone should know. And thanks to Holly for helping facilitate it, and also Holly's been killing it in our department as interim director, so claps for Holly.
Thank you. Also, wait, claps for Taz for just been taking on a lot with me, losing my mind, so, yeah.
I've got one or two. Fun update, Girls Rock just finished our first series of Little Rockers Camp, which was 2 to 5-year-olds. We did 4 workshops. I was at 3 of them. I had to miss one of them, but we did 4 different workshops at FAR with, I think, 25 2 to 5-year-olds in each group. And yeah, we did first class, we did guitars. We did like an open exploration of like electric guitars, and then there was drums, and then keys, and then vocals this last week. It was lethal levels of cute, like all around, but also just super cool and really well received. It was our first time doing something with younger kiddos like that. And it was a great time. So that, is something that's BAC supported. And we really appreciate that. And just know that you're doing some good stuff with that with those BAC funds. And then the Cook Center is actively working to install the Bloomington Community Altar for ahead of Day of the Dead. That's at the end of the month. Or beginning of November, and it is something that's been going on since 2006, but has been held in different places around town. This year it's at Maxwell Hall in our big hallway. We're gonna have an opening reception for that later this month, TBD on the date, and then obviously that November 3rd gallery walk, there'll be a Taylor Swift stuff going on, but also in our space it'll be open for a reception and time to come in for that exhibit, so feel free. Well, I guess it's more of a living altar. People are welcome to bring in their own offerings and to add to the altar. Every year it gets moved with all of the additions that are added. It's a pretty big altar at this point. So yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, that's what's going on over here. Those are all my updates.
I'm closing at Orbit Room tonight. If anyone's going out, Wednesday night's my night now. So yeah,
Am I over?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we don't. No hard liquor, unfortunately, but there's sake, I guess. Yeah. No. Yeah. Wednesday nights at Orbit Room. That's my closing night for the week. Every week.
What time is
indefinitely?
closing night?
I go in at 7, and they close at 1, I think, or 1:30. Kitchen closes usually by 12:30. But yeah, it's a good place to get a snack when it's late.
The midnight snack.
It's playing pinball. Yeah. So much fun. Yeah, good pinball for sure. They're obsessed. Oh yeah.
I have a couple of things. Since we're updating on grant recipients, the Early Music Festival just got our all our submissions in. We had the call for proposal out, and that closed a couple of weeks ago. And so we have we typically get about 40. We're a little shorter this year because one of the links didn't work for a while, which was awesome. But we got applications from, and we'll call these down, but we have applications from Spain, Germany, Ireland, Canada, the Netherlands, New York, Chicago, Nashville, Omaha, Oakland, Philly, Boston, and here. A lot of groups from here in Bloomington, which is great. So we're going to announce our program in January. We have to get the contracts out and hopefully get all that stuff settled. So that's exciting. Food Truck Friday, my husband's band, Don't Call Me Betty, is playing. They're the first band, 5:30 to 7:30. Sunday, my husband's Bach Cantata project is going, and that's at 2:30 at St. Thomas Church. The music director for that is a fantastic young conductor. His name's Caio Lopez, and he's also the assistant conductor for the Bloomington Chamber Singers. He's such a talented guy. So there's that, and then the BCS has a concert on Sunday night also. That is all I have to say. I'm doing college tours this weekend. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I have one odd thing. The Brown County Theater is looking for directors for a whole series of shows, mostly for the spring, summer of next year. The shows that they're considering, they'll decide when they get the director for their list of shows. They're trying to marry it. He feels very strongly that he has to get the right director for the show. So if anybody knows anyone, I'd be happy to give you the contact.
That's great.
He has a list of shows.
Yeah, the shows he's thinking about, yeah.
Is there like a public call for that, or is that?
You know, they're kind of, I was asked, along with a couple other people, to come to a meeting with about 5 or 6 people, and we contributed the kind of theater that we wanted to see. And I was kind of surprised that he actually listened. So, but he's new to the area, and I don't think he understands where to put out a public call or how to do it or anything, and that's really not my world, so you know.
Okay.
And they do a pretty decent job there. I mean, it's, you know, it's community theater.
You're welcome to put him in touch with me if he just wants to have a conversation, because I'm just thinking if this is an opportunity just to give some of our local artists gigs or, you know.
Oh, that would be
I'd
great.
be happy to just, you know, the more artists we can get involved and having experience like that, especially paid experience, the better. So, yeah, even if it's not in Bloomington proper, just,
Yeah, I wonder if he needs other things like set designers and.
I think they're on, I don't know. I think, you know, he's been on a very strict budget. I think he's on too severe a budget, considering what they, you know, and because he's new and trying to prove to them that, other than cover bands and what, you know, whatever, that they can do this. But they did last year, and they were fairly successful at, you know, building.
Cover bands can be fantastic.
yeah.
Well, they do phenomenally
Wait,
with
isn't there
them.
another cover band at the end of this month?
Maybe. We haven't been confirmed yet, so
Okay.
I'm ready. But I'm making preparations. I'll, you'll know. But yeah, TBD. But yeah, I mean, just some other announcements on my end. My son participated in the Girls Rock Little Rockers because it was open to all identities, and I was just really, really grateful to like just have something like that in town. I mean, it happened for me to be close by my house, where we could just like walk there and you know, get this like excellent and like fun and like programming and like just like being introduced to these instruments and these ideas and like a fun environment. I felt really, really happy to be able to do that, and like very glad that like I was also part of an organization that like supports supports work like this. So that was very cool. And then I'm leaving tomorrow for a couple days. I'm going to the Smoky Mountains, kind of like just a little bit beyond Knoxville. So if anyone has like recommendations for like things to check out in the area, specific trails, places to eat. Let me know.
Not quite a national park, but it's a national treasure.
Yeah, right.
And there's a big Indian.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cool. Those are my announcements.
The pictures. I got
I've
pictures
not been
with
to
my
Orbit.
daughter.
Oh, Order, yeah.
But it shares the same address at 107 North College, where a friend of mine has an exhibit in the Brick Room Gallery.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
With limited hours, Fridays only from 5 to 8 for the next 2 Fridays. James Campbell, an established abstract artist in town, is
Yeah, you can see his work in the windows there too, I believe.
he
Yeah,
does really
yeah.
fun things.
It's really awesome.
Prolific.
Yeah.
I should also say, you remember Sergio, Sergio?
Yes, the Espino
His
trio. Yeah.
Latin jazz salsa band is playing tonight at what's called under back door. What's it called?
Oh, the
Blockhouse.
Blockhouse.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, so doing song response.
There's a 7:30 and I think a 9 o'clock
Awesome.
set. So I'll be up to 7:30.
Got 2 steps to make that.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing
Okay.
about the IU
Yeah.
Cinema? I'm on so IU Cinema does these creative collaborations, and I'm on the advisory board for that, and it's actually a really cool program that I don't know how many people know about it, but you can sign up for a proposal to curate a film series with IU Cinema, and it's not just IU, it's community groups, nonprofits, but also campus units and stuff. So if you know anyone who wants to apply to use the movie theater for free there, because IU Cinema is pretty cool and state of the art, you can apply for it. The applications are open right now, and I forget when they end, but they'll be open for a while. I can send more info to you all if you want, or you can just Google IU Cinema and Creative Collaborations and it'll come up with the application. But again, it's really cool. You can like curate a film with the IU Cinema. And they like community groups to be involved, so like your festival, Suzanne, if you had like a film that you wanted to show, like that would be perfect. Like they like when there's a partnership between something else going on and like also maybe a little film series, throw it in there. So if you know anyone who could benefit from that or any groups, it could be a good way to like do fundraisers or get out the message for something. Anyway, it's pretty cool. So I'm done talking.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Okay. We'll move on to public comment. iPhone 3. All right. Okay, so with that wraps our meeting. I'm gonna go ahead and motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I
second.
All right. I don't know if I don't think so. Meeting is adjourned.